So guys, here we go. Another leak list just appeared on the main Discord. The Discord is in the description and you have to get your roles to see the leaks and the data mines, okay? Somebody asked about it, so that's just an explanation. But let's talk a little bit about the extra leaks that we just got. We have some very interesting things. Let's start with the air. So we start off with this. So yes, guys, the Super Hornet was just leaked yet again, right? But now, guys, with one thing in mind, it got back to the list. It wasn't in the list before, the previous list. And guys, now it is being called the FA18E Block 2. What does this Block 2 means? Well, I mean, there's a bunch of upgrades here, but the main one is the APG-79 on the nose of the aircraft. So yes, if the leaks are true, we don't know because it's just a guess, you know, like they say, it's just a guess, right? It might be wrong. So take it with a grain of salt and of course, wait for the official confirmations. But if it comes, it would have the EASA radar. So very cool. And yeah, yet again, the Super Hornet appears on leak lists. It makes sense that they are trying to focus this update on more fourth generations that are more modern, 4.5, stuff like that, okay? So the Super Hornet might be coming for the US. Of course, they leaked the Hawk 209 as well, but that was already confirmed by a dev blog. The next one is the GRIPEN E, guys. Yes, the GRIPEN E just got leaked yet again. I mean, I don't think it was leaked before. I don't know. But yeah, the GRIPEN E, man. The GRIPEN E, the Brazilian GRIPEN, I would say. I mean, it's Swedish, but GRIPEN. Brazilian. Oh my god. So cool to see finally the GRIPEN E coming. These guys, of course, would include many upgrades, a new engine. I already talked about this aircraft, but yeah, the Super Hornet engine, the 414, right? It has an EASA radar, of course, more pylons for more weapons, and even as you can see over here, you can see an IRIS-T, of course, and the Meteor, which are the missiles, if I'm not mistaken, that my country uses, for example. And we just tested the Meteor this week. So yeah, very cool. Hopefully we see a Brazilian skin to it because obviously this is for me the closest that I can get for a proper Brazilian aircraft after the AMX A1, right? So yeah, very cool to see. Of course, it has an IRIS-T as well. It's just a very cool aircraft. It tried to fix any type of lacking on performance problem that the GRIPEN Cs had. So very cool. Then we go for this. This is for ground now, okay? We only had 3 leaks for the aircraft. For ground, guys, for both the US and the Swedes, the NASAMS is coming, apparently. Maybe, if the leaks are true. The NASAMS, guys, NASAMS is actually a ground system that is normally used as an air to, like a ground-to-air system, like a SAM, right? They utilizes the AIM-120 and even if I'm not mistaken, the AIM-9X. So very cool to see. And yeah, this is the new AA apparently that the Swedes are getting. Everybody was talking about the IRIS-T, SLM, right? But apparently the NASAMS is the one that it's coming. So honestly, guys, of course, it needs to come for the US as well, and apparently it will. But to be honest, it won't be too different depending on the variant. If it has the better variants, you know, maybe it will be better. From the claws, right? So it's more or less kind of the same idea. It's, you know, we will have probably a ground radar, a truck radar, something like that, with the launchers that you can fire AIM-120s and AIM-9s, right? So that's kind of the idea here. Nothing too crazy, and kind of sad for the Swedes because I was hoping for the IRIS-T, but this is a little bit more unique. So there is the cool factor for them as well. So very cool. Maybe it is coming, right? Then we go for the Germans, guys. The Jaguar 2. Finally, they maybe are adding the Jaguar 2. This is, guys, if you don't know, another type of Raketenjagdpanzer, right? Basically, this is using the TOW launcher instead of the HOT launcher or SS-11s or whatever. And it uses a little bit of a modified hull as well, if I'm not mistaken. So it is pretty good. Nothing too crazy. It's just an ATGM launcher for the Germans. But it is going to be very fun. I like this type of vehicle. Very different. And it is from the 80s, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, very cool. You can even see the Leopard 2 there. So, very cool, right? just a very interesting vehicle. Then we gotta talk about this. Yes, the Russians apparently are receiving the Tor M1, and for that we're gonna go to the game. Because we already have this exact version of the Tor, right? So finally, apparently, maybe, the Russians are receiving their own AA system that was in the Chinese tech tree. I don't think the Russians need new AA systems, but guys, it is weird that for the US, they are saying that, if somebody is going to get a new vehicle, it is going to be added first for the US if that vehicle was built in the US, and then for the other countries, they just ignore it. So that's why I think they're trying to build this kind of line of thinking that everybody will get their things first, right? This didn't claim for Russia, even though they built it. So now maybe it is coming. Honestly, they don't need it. 11.3 here is a gap that needs to be filled in the AAs, but we do have some pretty good AA systems over here. So it's not needed. But, like I said, there is a gap that needs to be filled here. And 11.3 is a BR that, we don't have anything here. So it makes a lot of sense. And also, of course, if it was built by Russia, by the Soviet Union, it needs to come for their tech tree first. So finally, they're making sense here with the Tor, right? So yeah, I'm kind of happy because of this gap. It was a big gap, 10.7 to 12.0. So now you have an in-between over here, 11.3, that you can use with 11.0s, 11.7s, a lot of vehicles that are higher BR than the Tunguska. The Tunguska can deal with targets that are in a higher BR, but the Tor is a little bit better. So very interesting, right? Also, the Type 61 mod. I don't know, I couldn't say for sure that this is the version, but basically it's a modified Type 61 for Japan. Like I said, guys, this looks like a Panzer IV, if you ask me, but yeah, I don't know exactly if this is the version, because apparently there's multiple mods, but this is the one that I think it would be the coolest. So let's wait to see what exact version will be added about the Type 61. That would be the coolest one because it has this extra armor and everything, but of course, it might not be this one. But yeah, a Type 61 with some form of, like one of the mod versions is coming for them, which is pretty cool. Then they talked a little bit about the Merkava Mark 1. Actually, they didn't talk about it, it's just mentioned, right? So apparently, the Israelis are getting the Merkava Mark 1. So this is the Mark 1B, and the Mark 1, guys, it is the one that it's an event vehicle in the US. The 9.31. Yeah, the 9.31. So here we have basically the same vehicle. The main difference here would be that it uses the HAT 6 and not the HATS 7. I think it is the other one, right? So it is a lot worse than in the case of the ammunition than the other Merkava 1B, right? It's an earlier modification. You can see that it's a little bit different as well on the back and everything. It's an earlier model. Nothing too crazy, of course, but of course, it is going to be a pretty interesting vehicle for them because, as you can see, the back is a little bit different. And as you can see here, you have the HATS 7, right? So, yeah, that's going to be the main difference. The 9.31 Mark 1 that is in the US is coming with just the HAT 6, which is 338 millimeters probably. And then it doesn't have the HAT 7, which is 421. So it's a big gap in ammunition for just a minor change in BR over here. But you get the point, right? And of course, it's just another one that needs to be added. I mean, we have other vehicles that are not in their tech tree, which is insane. I mean, why they're here and not there? So it makes sense that they will change that. But yeah, the Mark 1 is the first one. And guys, 9.3, it is pretty great because then you will be able to take this first Merkava together with the Galbadash and the Magak 7, which is, great to actually see because these are just M60s, right? So having a proper, like, Merkava, and it's going to be pretty great. This is a pretty great tech. So very interesting addition for the Israelis. Of course, it is a copy-paste, but it is something that was in the tech tree of others and needs to be in their tech tree. Again, guys, the same goes for the Tor. If it's coming for another nation, it needs to come for the original nation. So it came for the US, it needs to be added for the Israelis tech tree as well. Then we have some ships. We have the USS Forrest Sherman, a destroyer from the 50s of the Americans. Pretty great. Not going to talk too much about it since I don't know much about ships and the risk of me saying something that it's wrong is very high. It's already high with the other ones. Imagine with something like this. we have the Armando Diaz cruiser for Italy as well. And lastly, the Cassiopeia for P401 for Italy as well. So both ships for Italy, okay? And the last thing, we have the TALIOS pod. Yes, the TALIOS pod, that it's one of the most modern pods, I think the most modern pod of the Rafale, right? Is also in the leaks. So hopefully it gets added because it is pretty great. Okay, guys? And this is it, guys. So this is the leak list updated. Okay, so F-18E Block 2, GRIPEN, the Thor coming for the Russians, the Merkava Mark 1 coming for the Russians, the NASAMS coming for the US and the Swedes, Type 61, Jaguar, some ships, and the TALIOS. Nothing too crazy, but very, very interesting to see. And I feel like Gaijin is trying to focus a lot on adding stuff that is missing, that are in the other tech trees that are for original tech trees. So, for example, the Super Hornet, guys, I mean, not the the NASAMS, for example, it needs to come for the Swedes, but for the US as well, because they built it, right? The Thorium 1 needs to come for the Russians. The Merkava Mark 1, it needs to come for the Israelis. It just makes sense these nations have these like vehicles that are their own vehicles. It doesn't make any sense that they didn't do that yet. Okay? So I see you guys on the next one. Make sure to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment. Make sure to join the Discord down in the description. Like I said, guys, you have to get the roles and everything to see the leaks and everything, but the Discord is in the description. And I see you guys on the next one. Make sure to be a member of Patreon, and bye.